Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Mike Beer, producers Bobby and Vinny helping us out as we get you ready for some stakes action on Sunday over at Ellis Park. It's the Ellis Park Derby. It's going to go as race number 7 on Sunday, August the 9th. Let's take a look at the field that's lining up for this one. $400,000 up for grabs. And just looking at this field, Mike, I was so bummed when Plutarch got hurt and was taken off of the Kentucky Derby trail because he wins the Robert B. Lewis. And at that point, he had won 2 races in a row, and he just looked like a distance horse who was really putting it all together with distance. Early on in his career, he was like a little behind the 8 ball mentally, and it was like it was all coming together for him when he won the Robert B. Lewis. And then unfortunately, right afterwards, he's off the Derby trail, and we don't see him. We haven't seen him since February. But this is a really nice starting spot back for a horse like this, where it's not a big field. It's a soft group. You could see him running well here, and then you get some options, elsewhere in the next 4 or 5 months where you can run in some good 3-year-old races.
Yeah, maybe I'm sure Baffert and these connections have designs on something, a little bit more serious down the line. But you're right, it's a good starting point for him. I guess the main point of the ones that you just laid out there, Ginny, because I liked this horse probably as much as you did early on, is he didn't seem like he wanted maybe a little more distance. So starting back here at a mile, around 1.5 turns, I guess you could say maybe it'll be a little short for him, but he's a nice horse.
And he's the class of this field.
Yeah.
You take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. So one thing that is a little bit tricky about this field is that there's not that much early speed lined up on paper here, but there are a couple horses who have certainly shown speed, and it wouldn't shock you. I mean, even Plutarch, who won on the lead last time out, if this horse was a little bit fresh and they just thought he was better than a lot of this group and they wanted to have him forward, it wouldn't shock me all that much, especially with Giro aboard, who rides that way a lot of the time, putting horses on the front end. I mean, even a horse like Igniter, though, who I don't know what happened last time when he was like 15 lengths out of it. He does not run that way normally. He's shown a lot more like speed, positional speed, and been able to sit closer in his races. And, the outside Spun DMC is coming out of sprint races. He probably projects to be the quickest on paper early.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of speed out of the 6 here as he stretches out. But yeah, you're right. I think there are some other horses who they should be sitting right up close in this race. We'll see how it all plays out from the break.
We start things out with Corona d'Oro. He's grade 3 placed. He was in the Lexington, finished 3rd. Following that, he tried the grade 1 Preakness. He tried the Matt Win. Didn't really compete all that well in either of those 2 races. But then on July the 6th, got some class relief at Ellis Park. He was about 3 lengths off early. He was up the rail. He didn't have a whole lot of room. He waited. He found room, and he really did get going at the top of the lane for an easy victory. What's nice is that we know he's proven at Ellis, and he is proven over a wet track. If for some reason it does come up wet this weekend, maybe you want to upgrade him a little bit. What do you think about Corona d'Oro's chances in here?
Yeah, I guess he's not that hard to make a case for, I guess. I personally just had a tough time warming up to this horse. I don't really like any of his races that much. They got him back into a good spot last time, dropping out of those tougher stakes races. He ran fine in there. I thought he just got a trip that really worked out well for him. And he took advantage a little bit. He's fine. I wouldn't be shocked if he won here, but I'm not betting him.
Same exact sort of feelings on him. I was like deciding between him and Spun DMC for like my 4th spot in this field of 6. So just to show you, like, it wouldn't really shock me to see him run well, but I do like a couple of others a lot more in here than him. 70s Music is the next one up. The lack of early speed kind of hurts this Arkansas bred. His lone route race was when he was 5th, beaten 10 lengths, 2 starts back at Oaklawn Park on May the 2nd. The one thing that he's been a little bit unlucky, he's had a sloppy track in 4 of his 6 races. So, he hasn't really got the opportunity to run on fast tracks that much. And that really probably hurts a horse like him with his running style, because he comes from way out of it. And that generally is not good on a wet track for horses that are deep, deep closers. So he does also have the lowest buyer top in the field. He would need a career best in here.
Yeah, I guess we'll just find out at least a little bit here if he's more than just a closing sprinter, because he just looks like a closing sprinter here. Personally, it's horses that have his running style at Oaklawn, when they can win races there, I give him a little extra credit for closing ground at Oaklawn, because I feel like it's not always an easy thing to do on that racetrack. So this horse might be a little bit better than he looks on paper, but I'm not sure if he wants to go this far.
Perennial leading rider out in Southern California for many years, Rafael Bejarano. Been struggling a little bit right now, too. I think just 2 for the last 50 or so with a lot of seconds and thirds. Maybe he can turn the tide a bit with 70s Music. Stop the Car is next one up. Another who's not that quick early. He's going to get some class relief, though. You look at some of the recent races. He was in the Lecomte, the fourth in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. Actually wasn't bad behind Stark Contrast and Full Effort. And then he was third in the Pat Day Mile behind two pretty nice horses there, Crude Velocity and Englishman. That's a decent third, a little bit better than it might look on paper, because those two really are very, very nice. And yeah, so I mean, if you're using that Pat Day Mile and he's able to run back to something like that, he probably fits pretty well with a group like this.
I think he does too. Yeah, but as opposed to the horse down the rail that we were talking about, Corona de Oro, I've always kind of liked Stop the Car. I feel like he's run some nice races. I like this distance for him too. I think dropping back to the mile, I know it's not really a one-turn mile, it's like a 1.5, but I think that these kinds of races really suit him. I don't know, just like his first two starts, the 2 wins. I know he had things go his way both times, but I just liked those wins from this horse. And since then, he's more or less held his own against some way better horses than this.
And if we're comparing prices and horses like the 1 and the 3, and they're somewhere close to each other, I would much prefer the 3, who you mentioned, Stop the Car. We have Igniter next up. He's a stakes winner. He's grade 3 place. He's going to go third start of the Forum cycle. I don't know what happened last time out on June the 28th, because you look at his first 6 races, he's been within like 2 lengths in almost all of them. And in a couple of the races, he was like right on the lead or sitting really close to it. And then last time, he was just outrun. You couldn't even see him in the replay for a little while. He does get going late for third, and the winner is a nice horse. Deep Flame earned a 105 Beyer speed figure. He's been awesome in his last 2 races. I just have to imagine Luis Saez jumping aboard, the way this race shapes up with not that much early speed, the fact that this horse just couldn't really get involved early. I feel like that's going to be the intent here with Igniter, to make sure at least win or lose, let's get him within 2 lengths early of the race, where he's run races like that earlier in his career and run better doing so. And that may suit him really well in here, Mike, as we're seeing like there's not that many horses with speed, right?
Yeah, I think it will too. Listen, they went so fast early in that race last time. And they're not going to go that fast in here. I think he is going to get a more comfortable trip closer to the pace. And as you mentioned, that was just a very fast race last time, and he was just trying to pick up pieces at the end of it. But there was no chance. He had no chance with the winner of that race. Listen, I think he's going to run way better in here. I like the mile distance for this horse, and the slower pace is really going to help this horse.
Grade 3 winner Plutarch is coming off a layoff, has not raced since February. He is grade 1 placed. He's proven on turf and dirt. He's shown us some different running styles. Just feel like if he's ready, he's the class of the field here, Mike. And here he is winning this Robert B. Lewis, and at the point right here, earning a 90 Beyer speed figure, which was pretty solid for horses on the Triple Crown Trail at that point. So you wonder, like, we always think about horses like this as maybe needing a race off the layoff. There's a counter to that. Like, sometimes they could have grown up and matured and been even better. And Bob Baffert doesn't always need a race off the layoff with horses like this. So yeah, I mean, he might just be much better than this group.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah, a 90 Beyer in February. I mean, who knows? If he comes back and he's going to build on that in here, he's probably going to win this race. We'll see if he needs one off the layoff. Again, you sort of mentioned it earlier, Gino, and I think it's a very valid point that he might want to go a lot longer than this. And so we'll see if this is just a starting off point. But if he's ready to go, if he's close to ready to go off the layoff, I just think he's going to beat this field.
Going to be playing some of Run DMC's greatest hits while we're talking about Spun DMC. I think we could probably toss that turf try last time out, Mike. This will be his first start beyond 6 furlongs. And if you're looking at those first 4 races, all the sprint races, they're all nice. 2 wins, 2 multiple stakes placed horse. He hasn't run anything fast enough, though, even in the sprint races. That if he was running faster races sprinting, then I could maybe project him to carry that going a little bit longer. It almost feels like he's going to have to prove it going longer and class up at the same time. And I think that might be a little bit too much for him in this spot.
Yeah, you might be asking a little too much. I agree with you. He's a pretty nice horse. He's fast. I think they will try to make the lead with him here, and we'll see, how much better he can get. And we'll see if he can just get loose on the lead in here, because that would make him pretty dangerous. I think he is a talented horse. I just didn't trust him to wire this field.
A couple good 3-year-old races on Sunday. You've got the Ellis Park Derby. You've also got the West Virginia Derby over at Mountaineer. Previewed that one with Ashley Mayu yesterday, so you can check that preview out if you want some help there. Let's move to selections for this one, Mike. Plutarch looks like the horse to beat. I was thinking maybe we could get a little value with Igniter. I probably would want more than the 3-1 that he is on the morning line, though. I'd probably need like 4-1, 9-2 to feel pretty good about going and betting Igniter, because I am with you in that I think Plutarch is the class of the field, and I just want to make sure if I'm going against him, it's because I'm going against him with a value-based horse.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I chalked it out here. I'm just going to stick with Plutarch. But if I was going to bet against him, I would do it with your horse. I think Igniter's going to run way better in here.
5-4-3-6 for Mike, 4-5-3-1 for me. We'd always love to hear from you. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let us know how you're playing the Ellis Park Derby on Sunday. Best of luck.